And just reflect on that, I mean, sensational matchroom debut, like that.
Yeah, it was good. The whole build-up was good. It was professional. It was something fresh. It was something that I liked. You know what I mean? It was something that got me up every morning like, man, I'm excited to fight. And at the end of the day, then it was down to me to go and perform, which I knew. And that's how you do it, really. That's how you do it. When you're walking with shorts and boots like this, you got to back it up. And that's what I did. But at the end of the day, I did what I was supposed to do, and it's on to the next now.
Was there a lot of pressure? I mean, matchroom debut, Dizzy Rascal, ring walk. I mean, was he a little bit heated throughout the week? Was there a little bit of pressure going into that to perform?
Not really. There's pressure in all walks of life. I chose this path since I was 7. I've been in high fights as an amateur, Olympic finals, world finals, European finals. That was a lot of pressure. But having all that experience has got me to where I am now. So for me, just gotta enjoy the journey. Andy said one good thing. He said, just be in the now, because before you know it, it'll be gone. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just enjoying every step of this. Okay, she'll look back and go, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
You mentioned that it was stop and start previously. You had some little injuries bothering you, but this was a fairly easy night. How quickly do you want to be back, and how often do you want to fight per year?
That's one good thing with matchroom, you know, the professional, they can keep me active, and that's what I need. My last fight was April, so it was a big chunk out. And like I said, the fans want to see me fight, and that's what they need to see. At the end of the day, next year we're looking to keep the ball rolling, keep the performances going, and at the end of the day, keep the win coming.
How quickly do you feel like you can move through the levels and become a contender for a championship?
I truly don't believe no one can move like me, they don't have my speed like me, and they don't have the IQ like me at 175. They can all bang, they can all gritty. I've got something different. But at the end of the day, I'm 11 fights in. That was my 11th fight. And it's all about process. When you want to build a star like me, you got to take your time.
Last one. I know you and Andy, it's your second fight, second knockout. Sometimes fighters want rounds. Would you like to have had this fight go longer? Do you want somebody with a bit more sustainability?
No, not at all. At the end of the day, we do the rounds in the gym. You know what I mean? Andy's got me doing 10 rounds each week. So for me, 2 minutes is perfect. But at the end of the day, the rounds will come. That guy was picked to do rounds.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
19-1, never been stopped. And very solid and tender, very sturdy, as you could see. It wasn't like a setup shot. It was a brutal knockout through power, brute force. And it was an easy night, but this guy has worked so hard over the last 2 months. The sacrifice he's made to come to Ireland, diet very strict, never strayed from his diet. We've got the nutritionist, and it's the whole team have played a huge part, but he does the hard work, and you don't see that, but what you see is the results, and that was the results. Okay.
How often would you like to see him fight per year, and how quickly do you want him back?
I think he should be fighting 3-4 times a year. 3 or 4 times a year next year. And then he needs to get up to about 16, 17 fights. Get the experience, travel, experience different styles, and he needs rounds and at a high level. But it's very hard to find someone who can match him for level because he's so talented. And I just think the next couple of years are going to be a great time. Building him learning, going on the road sometimes, coming back here to Birmingham, and by mid-2027, he should be right there, right at the top 5 heavyweights in the world. I'm ready to beat any of them. Thank you.
Then you're obviously aware that a lot of people are tuning in to watch you lose, as many as the people that are tuning in to watch you win. What is your outlook on those people hating? Do you like rubbing it in their face when you win, or do you want to convert them into fans?
Show them the money. That's where it comes from. At the end of the day, as long as they turn up, as long as they tune in, and as long as they pay to watch me fight, my job is to go out there and fight. I'm a bit Marmite, of course, but the people around me know the true me. As long as they go out there and win, they can all say what they want to say.
Well, Eddie made those comparisons to Prince Nassim and Chris Eubank Sr. Do you really feel in the same way that divisive nature is what sells? That is absolute box office. You're not trying to make people like you, but they have to respect you regardless, don't they?
Yeah, in sport you need something different. It's all good and well, not in smiling, bit of a herd mentality. But for me, I've always been different. Even in school, that's probably why I got kicked out. Well, I've always been told to stand out. That's what my mum told me to be. Stand out star, and that's what I'm trying to be in boxing. but it's authentic as well. A lot of people do fake it. At the end of the day, I'm just being me. I know when to turn it on. I know when to turn it on. That's it.
Eddie, you understand that as well, don't you? You have those haters and you laugh in their face a lot. You always care. It's people like you.
I was trying popular, to be honest with you.
I think you know you're a divisive character as well. You don't really care whether people. You're the hater.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
I mean,
bad.
burner accounts.
Am I speaking facts? Or?
Yeah. Look, I think at the end of the day, I think when people get to actually know you, and that's the difference. Listen,
There was a compliment in there.
I'm sure it didn't sound like it, but when I first started watching Ben, obviously he weren't with me, so you know I was watching him going, sure, I like this guy, like he's in there, he's back doing the back slap and like, but everybody's talking about it. But it's actually when you know the man and when you know how hard he's working and you realise that the person he is, that's when the public will start to see that. Our job is to show his true character as well behind that showmanship, right? And we're not looking just for pats on the back and for fans, but it's just a natural storytelling journey to show people the true story of Ben Whittaker, and everybody's going to love it. So, but you're always going to get people in life that don't like you, and of course, when you're a little bit flash and you're out there, you're going to get envious people that look at him and go, "I can't stand." And there are the people that wake up miserable every single day, and actually spend their whole life doing absolutely fuck all, right? Exactly. So we're not those people, right? What we are is we work hard. We want to be the best at what we do. We want to give 100%. If we can be good people as well, fantastic. And obviously, look, he's a man of extreme faith, and that's important to him, and that's his principal priority in life. So that comes with this comes with a journey. For me, what I'm interested in is seeing the legacy that he can build in the game. I love the showmanship, I love the promotion, I love the storytelling, but that's actually the easy job with Ben. Really easy. People saying about we did this and no one done nothing. Ben done it all, right? Through building his own brand and through being himself. We came along, we got gifted on a plate this perfect promotional superstar that we can just go and do our thing with. The harder thing is to navigate, like Andy said. Although I'm got a big mouth, I know boxing and I know how to move fighters, and that's what I'm most interested in with Ben, because I think if we get it right, you could have a guy that can win world championships. And myself, and particularly Andy, I know he was bopping in there to Dizzy Rascal, but what he's more interested in is legacy and actually what we can win and build in this great sport. And this is just a small part of that. One day that'll be gold and it'll be a beautiful thing. And that's what I want to do. I want him to make money. I want him to be a superstar, but most of all, I want him to win championships. And we want to be there in the ring with all the belts and in all the big fights and be part of those nights where it's like shit or bust, where it's like just, you saw it recently, like, this is what counts.
Ben, talking about winning championships, you had David Benavidez kind of say he'd want to fight you at Wembley. I mean, I'm not saying that fight is next, but it's only a good thing to have the WBC world champion saying your name as well.
Yeah, of course, like you said, you're obviously doing something right from their radar, but I've got my own path. I'm on my own journey. And when I get there, I don't want to compete. I want to beat them. I just want to be part of the party. I want to be the man where they don't want to fight me. So that's what the journey I'm on. And like you said, this is lovely. It's silver. I want it gold. But it's all in due time.
Ben, there's a nice domestic fight next month. Dan Aziz versus Craig Richardson. You fancy the winner?
It's all about me, man. At the end of the day, we're two good fighters. May the best man win. But for now, I'm going to focus on Christmas. Get some pigs and blankets down me. Get some mashed potatoes down me. Eat all that. And then I'll be back in the gym. I'm just looking at focusing on my craft. Because I think these guys want me now. Because when I do perfect that craft, it's going to be game over.
We're not to America's been mentioned a few times, and specifically because it'll suit your personality and they'll love it over there.
Yeah.
How much does that excite you, the prospect of going over there?
Yeah, for me, it might sound weird, even though I get a bit stick here. I love the UK. I think our fans just do the best. And when they're arguing, I kind of like it more. But I've got a crazy fan base in America. I've got a crazy fan base in Japan. And weirdly, I've got a real crazy fan base in Brazil. So I'd like to travel to all these places, experience new things, new people, different styles. And I think I'm the person that can do it. But of course, coming back home,
fighting up and down the country as well would be nice. But at the end of the day, I got these people around me for that. For me, just getting there, I fight. Teddy, just going off that, when you were building AJ, you did take him all the way from the top of the country to the bottom. You took Scotland and everywhere else. Is that the plan for Ben?
Yeah, he is. Don't forget, he was fighting every month or every 6 weeks because he was, fighting in 6-round fights and demolishing guys in a round. So you could go straight back to the gym. Ben's probably done 10 hard weeks and all that was over in a round. After a camp like that, it's not just saying that you go back to work on Monday. You got to give him a chance. But I do want him to be active. And I think off the back of that performance, it's really important to lock in with Andy and Will and the team, like what is next and when. Because what you don't want to do is sit out till April or May and then you're struggling to get 3 fights in. I want to do 3 minimum with the potential of 4. I think 4's the right number, especially if we're talking about getting into a position. And Andy's right, all those guys that we talk about, look at Gavazi. He's had 20 fights. We've had 10, 11 now. So, you talk about those other guys, Craig Richardson, Aziz, Callum, Whittaker, they've had dozens of fights. And we're just getting started. But, like that elite level is so tough. And Benny's 100% right. When you get there, you've got to be ready for it. Not just to do okay, but to win those fights. And the more active we can be in 2026, the better. Honestly, sometimes there's an opportunity for a quick turnaround, even if it's the jump, even if it's like, almost like an out contract. It's an additional fight. Like we can go to Brazil and jump on something. We've got Beatrice Ferreira over there. She's a big star, world champion. We're doing a show over there. Japan. Mr. Honda says, yeah, let's get him on. You've got to have a little bit of that versatility sometimes, just to go with it, but also not make a mistake.
Eddie, is there any realistic names that you want to see Ben in within the first part of 2026?
Like he said, I don't think we need to talk about them. They're just all there. I mean, everybody domestically who's in the top 5 in Britain, everybody who's a world champion, and everybody in between. They're all going to be part of the process. The key is also to make sure that we keep stepping up, right? Because what you don't want to do is just keep icing people in a round. You've got to, Andy's working hard in the gym and the hard sparring and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be part of the progression. But just getting the step-ups right so that we're actually, every time, it's just keeping us switched on. Don't want to go stale. Sometimes that's a mistake people make, is just keeping at the same level for too long and just lacking a little bit of that fire.
Do you like the winner of Richardson Aziz for Whittaker?
I think, as I said, if we're in America next, it wouldn't be one of those guys. But then, next late spring, summer, I love domestic fights, right? The reality is domestic fights sell better than anything in this country. So we want to have the rivalries in this country. And although Callum and Yard and Boatsi are at the back end, they're still going to be around when we're up at that level. And you're going to see all of those kind of fights. And they're the fights that will fill arenas and maybe even stadiums in this country. So we need those fights. And Craig, Aziz there, Willie Hutchinson, Parker, blimey, there's so many of them. It's a great division.
You say America next. What card are you thinking of?
Well, it depends when he wants to get out. If it was a little bit earlier, maybe Shakur against Teofimo would have been nice, but that's going to be tough with his pigs in blankets. You love that? Yeah, exactly. We'll see. But, we've got Boots against Ortiz coming up, probably. Obviously, we've got Nunes and Navarrete in February in Arizona. We got Andy Cruz in Las Vegas. We're doing a show a month over there. So it's easy for him to jump on any of those. Just get the timing right. It's not just that one. It's like, when's the one going to be after that? And just making sure we can do it right. But, my advice would be just not, a little break, but not too long.
At the end of 2026, we expect a lot of the big superstars to possibly retire. AJ, Fury, Usyk, blah, blah, blah. Is Ben going to be the one that you have to push forward? I know Conor Ben's another name, but...
Yeah, but Conor, listen, those guys, Conor does it really well as well. He's built his own brand. He's built a platform. He's got massive following. He's promotionally, he's very good at what he does as well. He's coming off a big win, and he's a young man. He's 28 as well. Ben's 28. These are the guys that are going to be the future. But we need these guys coming through. So at the moment, look, AJ, Fury, they're all, we just need, but some people just got something different.
Has he got that AJ sort of patch around him? When he saw AJ when he was filling out stadiums.
Yeah, I mean, look, AJ won the Olympic gold in London for the super heavyweights. I mean, it's a big, it's a big stepping stone to go. But you need, like, you see from his social media following, you see from the different kind of fan bases that he has. Most people these days have the boxing fan base behind them. He has the casual fan base behind him. We've got to make sure that, we push hard on the media side whilst he's out at camp. And I don't think he's actually that fussed about that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. But it's tough shit, because when we're paying that kind of money, we're going to make you fucking work. but that is really important. That, unfortunately, is important. And, it's actually the same as Boots Ennis, who is such an unbelievable fighter. He also has no interest in any of that. And I said to him after the last fight, mate, we got to get out there. We got to get on the road. I just need you for a week or so. We got to be active. And he's done a great job, and it really works. Like, he's got the following online. We just got to keep that momentum going now. So, fortunately, he's probably going to get a fun few fights.
Ben, I represent the amateur boxing club in Barnet, and a lot of the young people there have gone through a lot of racism and bullying, and some have also been kicked out of school. And so, to young people who are aspiring boxers, who were in a situation where you once were, what are your words of wisdom to them? I represent the 1.2 billion young people who are going through bullying to help them be bold. What words of wisdom would you give to young people who are going through bullying right now?
Very, very good question. Well, like you said, I was mixed. I'm mixed race. I was diagnosed with ADHD. I was bouncing off the walls. I got kicked out of school, but they didn't really understand me. What I did was I went to my local boxing gym, and that was like my classroom. That's where I switched on. And the coach treated me like a son. One good thing is I got good parents, but if you haven't got the parents or the grandparents, that gym is like a second home to some of these kids. And of course, racism, all these things are in the world, but try and block it out. I know it's hard, but try and block it out. Focus on yourself. Find something that makes you truly happy. And that's what I did with this sport. I never looked back. A lot of people are probably saying, oh, Ben's this, that, but I focused on myself. Cut the bad friends off, cut the distractions off, and I'm here now. So if I can do that, I can do it, because I'm no different.
Thank you so much. And I just want you to know, Jesus loves you so much.
Amen.
And also, I look forward to having you on my podcast as well.
Thank you.
The young people.
Thank you very much. I like the TRT.
Thank you. I miss Barnet. I'm a Miss Barnet.
Okay.
Last one or two, boys, anyone?
Eddie, you've got Khalil Coe in your US stable. Is that a big fight in the future?
You could name 25 fights that Ben Whittaker could have, and that's the great thing about it. We're not going to be short of opponents. So Khalil Coe, great American fight for him. Yeah, he's going to fight Jesse Hart, so it's not for now. But that, one day Khalil Coe against Ben, in Philly, in Madison Square Garden, in Birmingham at the O2. I mean, there are literally there are 12 opponents that we could be fighting next year, and we're gonna take our time, fight them when it's right, but they're gonna come sooner rather than later.
Ben, we spoke about teaming up with Andy at the beginning of the week. Do you see it with two back-to-back stoppages now with Andy? Do you see it kind of, I don't want to say like a chapter 2 in your career teaming up with Andy, but is it a new leaf turn teaming up with Andy?
Yeah, like I said, Andy Lee's been there and done. He was a world champion, so when he talks, you listen. But for me, it was competition around me as well. You go to the gym, you've got fighters that are hungry. It might sound silly, but I'd go to the gym and I was the boy. I was the man. So my concentration didn't waver, but I'm not learning nothing. The kids are looking up to me, they're learning from me. So I'm going to the gym. If Paddy's on the bag, he's doing 2 punches. I'm doing 4. If he's throwing 4, I'm throwing 6. That's what you need. You need that competitiveness between you. And that's what I love about the gym. There's no distractions. It's in a place where I can just focus on my boxing. I literally got the Airbnb, Tesco, and the gym. And it's what I need at the end of the day. Nobody knows me. I can walk down to the beach, get my food, come back. It's a perfect place. And like I said, I've got a great father, but he's like a good father figure. He makes sure I'm right. We'll come to the house sometimes when we're not even training. We'll sit down with me, eat with me. In the Airbnb, he's looking after me, making sure I'm right. So when you got a coach like that, it's a good place to be in. For all my other coaches as well, I respect them because they brought me to where I am. My amateur coach, he brought me to where I am. Sugar Hill, he brought me to where I am. And now I'm with this man, and it's a great partnership.
If you're taking Whittaker to America, they're going to miss him here. Can we see Boots on this side of the pond?
Probably not. Probably not. Listen, this is the focus for Ben. This is his home territory. But the American experience is something that all young fighters want to experience, and I think they'll love it. They'll love it. And but Boots against Ortiz, watch this space. Hopefully, it won't be in London. It will be in Las Vegas. So.
Okay,
Thank
everyone,
you.
thank you very much.
Everyone, well done,
If you
guys.
just follow Caitlin out, she'll take you to the backdrop.